Recently, I came across some advice that I had written down as a reminder for myself when I was still in IB. At the time, I had no motivation to study or even work hard on my IAs. I didn't think that I could score even higher than a 35 on IB, and this self-doubt persisted until I received this advice from my older sister, an IB alumni who scored a 44 out of 45. This is what she said. Hey friends, my name's Nicole and I'm a third-year medical student studying in Hong Kong. 3 years ago, I graduated from IB with a score of 42 out of 45. Today, I'll be sharing the advice that I received that gave me the confidence and motivation to work hard and aim high. If you're doubting your ability to score high on IB or just struggling with motivation to keep working in the face of senioritis, this video is for you. I hope I can inspire anyone out there who needs a boost of confidence and motivation in the face of taking their IB exams or any high-stakes exam. So without further ado, let's get straight in. Number 1, commit to a clear goal, especially if it's ambitious. I see scoring high on IB like playing tennis. If you want to hit a ball across the net with your racket, you have to keep your eye on the ball and track it with your hand and your eyes. You need to keep your attention laser focused on that tennis ball that's hurling towards you. You're not going to be able to hit that ball if you're not paying attention. You'll either hit too late, you'll miss it completely, or if you're really bad luck, then you get hit by the ball. The same applies for IB. It's all about setting clear goals. If you're aiming to score high to hit the IB cutoff for your dream major and university, you need to be crystal clear about this goal. Just saying that I want to score high is vague and unproductive. Instead, set the goal of I want to score a 43 or higher in order to ensure that I have a safe chance of getting accepted into medicine in Hong Kong. In the beginning, I was always reluctant to commit to scoring high because I was scared of failing. I was scared that other people would laugh at me and be like, oh, haha, look at Nicole. She tried scoring a 45 and she failed, and what a waste of effort. She just should have been realistic about what she could have done. I would think, what if I failed miserably and all my hard work and effort was for nothing? We often avoid committing to a firm goal because we fear failing, but recognizing this fear of failure is the first step to overcoming it. When we feel failure, what often ends up happening is that we hide behind excuses that we conjure up for ourselves. And this brings me to my next point. Number 2, dream big instead of hiding behind excuses. Don't use excuses like, well, I don't really need that high of a score. I can go to my safety university instead of going to my reach school. Don't use these excuses to hide your laziness, especially if deep and down you really want to go to your reach school. I personally tried convincing myself that I didn't want to study medicine in Hong Kong because deep inside I was scared of aiming high and falling short. I didn't think I had the ability to score that high on IB, and I just didn't want to let myself dream big. Similarly, don't use excuses like, oh, I'm not that smart. It's impossible to get that high of a score. No one at my school has ever scored that high before. To excuse yourself from working hard. No one can predict the future. Recognizing these excuses is another step to overcoming our fear of failure. Getting a 43 or a 44 or even a 45 out of 45 is not impossible. Yes, it's hard, but people do it every year. Don't use these excuses to hide your fear of failure. I've made all these excuses before myself. I had no confidence in myself, so I tried to pretend to not even care or aim that high, and I tried to fool myself. I've been there, done that. But you never really know what you can do until you try. No one can predict the future about how high you can score, even though we have predicted grades. No one will know how high you can score until you give it your all. So go dream big and go all in. Leave your excuses at the door. Number 3, have the right mindset. Believe in yourself. I know that this is easier said than done, but don't talk yourself down that much. Be your cheerleader, not your worst critic. Understand that getting high scores is about knowing how to study. It's about identifying what you should be studying and working hard. It's not about being born smart. Instead, it's about knowing a bit of psychology. If you've taken psych before, then you may have heard of the two terms growth mindset and internal locus of control. These are the two pillars to having the right mentality to score high on IB. Number one is growth mindset. This is believing that you can improve through dedication and hard work. Instead of thinking that you're just not good at math, knowing how to study and what to study can help you actually improve. Even if your predicted grade is low, if you can work hard, then you can show progress. Work hard and work smart, and you'll get the score that you want. The second pillar is having an internal locus of control. This means believing that you have personal control over your performance. Sure, genetics and having a high IQ might play some role into getting high grades, but I believe that working hard plays an even bigger role in success. Your results will ultimately depend on how much effort and hard work you put in. So work hard and know how to also just work smart in order to get the results that you want. Number 4 is to look beyond the number. Now, this advice was actually the most motivating for me out of all 5 pieces of advice that I got, because I am a person who's loss aversive and I like to keep my options open. Let me explain. Getting a high score means having more opportunities. If you don't know what you want at the moment, if you're not sure about what major or college you want to go to, working hard and aiming for a high IB score opens up the possibilities for your future. Let's say you don't really want to study medicine right now, but maybe something life-changing happens to you or your family, and you change your mind and you want to pursue that career path. Well, having a high score keeps that opportunity open. It helps to have a really high score, and it helps to start taking IB seriously from the very beginning, because these IAs and EEs all contribute to your final score on IB. At the end of the day, taking IB seriously means that you get the most out of this program and out of your 2 years. This applies for anything. The fruits that you reap are directly proportional to the amount of effort you put in. It's like how 2 students might be taking the same chemistry class, but student A puts in a lot of work in, she pays attention and focuses when the teacher's teaching, and she learns a lot more and she learns well. Whereas in comparison to student B, maybe she's just kind of not really paying attention, kind of playing around in the class. This is the difference between 2 students who go through the same class. One student really learns the content well, whereas another student just graduates not really knowing what they've spent their time doing. Make the most out of your IB experience. Maybe just treat it like a challenge. Aim high and see how high you can reach, and prove it to yourself that you can achieve the goals that you set for yourself. Number 5, understand the rules of the game. Go figure out how an IA is graded. Go figure out how to hit every part of the table listed for the EE rubric. Go figure out how to get the analysis points for your EE. There are so many resources out there. I personally have made a couple of IB videos on how I got my 7 on my IAs and how I got an A on my EE. Go check out my videos if you need help for that. Understand the rules of the game so you can play to win. You don't need to aim for perfection, but you need to aim to hit every single point on that grading rubric in order to get the score that you want. If you understand the underlying rules to the game and you put in the effort to kind of game the system, then you will reap the rewards that you deserve. The threshold for improvement is small in the beginning and slowly increases as you aim higher. It takes less effort to get from a 43 to a 44 in comparison to getting from a 44 to a 45. And this is cliche, but I've heard it before and I'll tell you now. Aim for the moon, and even if you miss, at least you'll land among the stars. I think that self-efficacy, or believing in yourself and your ability to achieve the goals that you set for yourself, is so important for succeeding as a student and in life in general. I personally had trouble with this in the past, and I still kind of do, but I think that understanding that you need to believe in yourself in order to achieve the goals that you want is an essential part to scoring high on IB. It's essential to doing well on exams. It's a very important part of being a good student. I think the advice that I received 3 years ago has also stood the test of time because I can see how it applies for my med school experience, and it's a good reminder to reread this advice for me and to remind myself that I should aim high and I shouldn't let my self-doubt hold me back. If you found this video helpful, please share it with anyone else that you think might also benefit from this video. Let me know down in the comments below what video you want to see next. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.